The story of Ruth and Boaz, a tale of redemption, loyalty, and grace. The bitter departure. Long ago, during the time when judges ruled over Israel, there was a great famine in the land. The nation of Israel, a people chosen by God, was caught in the cycle of sin, judgment, repentance, and deliverance. It was in this era that a man named Elimelech from Bethlehem in Judah made a difficult decision. In search of sustenance and survival, he took his wife Naomi and their 2 sons, Mahlon and Chilion, and journeyed to the distant land of Moab, a place often seen as an enemy of Israel. Moab was fertile and prosperous at the time, but spiritually barren. Yet, it was there that Elimelech believed his family might find relief. However, shortly after settling there, tragedy struck. Elimelech died, leaving Naomi a widow in a foreign land. Her heart broke, yet she clung to her sons, who later married Moabite women, Orpah and Ruth. For a decade, the family lived in Moab. But sorrow visited them again. Both Mahlon and Chilion died, leaving Naomi childless and grief-stricken. In a foreign land with no husband, no sons, and no heirs, Naomi felt utterly abandoned. She decided to return to Bethlehem after hearing that the Lord had blessed his people again and that the famine had lifted. Prepared to leave, she told her daughters-in-law to remain in Moab, to return to their mothers' homes, and to remarry. They wept together, bound by shared grief. Orpah, with tearful reluctance, kissed Naomi and returned. But Ruth, steadfast, loyal Ruth, refused to leave. With a trembling voice, she declared, "Do not urge me to leave you or to return from following you. For where you go, I will go, and where you stay, I will stay. Your people shall be my people, and your God my God. Where you die, I will die, and there will I be buried." Naomi saw Ruth's resolve and said no more. The 2 women traveled back to Bethlehem, a journey filled with uncertainty. A new beginning in Bethlehem. Naomi and Ruth arrived in Bethlehem, the entire town buzzed with whispers. "Is this Naomi?" the women asked, hardly recognizing her. But Naomi, whose name meant pleasant, replied bitterly, "Do not call me Naomi. Call me Mara, for the Almighty has dealt very bitterly with me." She lamented her empty return, but unknown to her, God was already weaving redemption into her story, through Ruth. It was the beginning of the barley harvest. In order to provide food for herself and Naomi, Ruth took initiative. She requested to go and glean in the fields, an Israelite practice where the poor could collect leftover grain behind harvesters. Naomi consented, and Ruth set out with hope and humility. By divine providence, she happened to come to the field of Boaz, a man of wealth, integrity, and lineage from the house of Elimelech. Boaz arrived and greeted his workers warmly. "The Lord be with you." And they responded, "The Lord bless you." Boaz noticed the young woman gleaning diligently behind the reapers. "Whose young woman is this?" he asked his foreman. The foreman explained that she was the Moabite woman who returned with Naomi. She had worked from morning until now with hardly a rest. Boaz was moved by her dedication and said to Ruth, "Listen, my daughter. Do not go to glean in another field. Stay close to my young women. I have instructed the young men not to touch you. And when you are thirsty, drink from the vessels they draw." She was overwhelmed by his kindness. She bowed and asked, "Why have I found favor in your eyes, that you should take notice of me, a foreigner?" He replied with tenderness, "What you have done for your mother-in-law since the death of your husband has been fully told to me. May the Lord reward you for your work, and may you be fully repaid by the Lord, the God of Israel, under whose wings you have come to take refuge." That day, Ruth ate with Boaz and his workers. He offered her roasted grain, and she ate until satisfied, saving some for Naomi. Boaz also instructed his reapers to intentionally leave extra stalks behind for her. Home and showed Naomi all she had gleaned and the leftover food. Naomi's spirit stirred with hope. "Where did you glean today?" she asked. When Ruth said, "In the field of a man named Boaz," Naomi's eyes widened. May he be blessed by the Lord. That man is a close relative of ours, one of our redeemers. Naomi saw the hand of God. She urged Ruth to continue gleaning in Boaz's field throughout the harvest. A bold act of faith. Weeks passed, the barley and wheat harvests drew to a close. Ruth had worked diligently. Naomi, filled with new purpose, devised a plan, a cultural and legal opportunity based on the law of the kinsman redeemer, where a close relative could marry a widow to preserve the family name and inheritance. Naomi instructed Ruth, "Tonight, Boaz will be winnowing barley at the threshing floor. Wash, anoint yourself, and put on your cloak. Go to the threshing floor, but do not make yourself known until he has finished eating and drinking. When he lies down, observe where he lies, then go and uncover his feet and lie down. He will tell you what to do." This was not seduction, but a symbolic request for Boaz to take her under his protection as a redeemer. Ruth trusted Naomi and said, "All that you say, I will do." Ruth followed the plan. After Boaz had eaten and lay down in contentment, Ruth quietly uncovered his feet and lay there. In the middle of the night, startled, Boaz awoke. "Who are you?" he asked. "Ruth, your servant." "Spread your wings over your servant, for you are a redeemer," she replied. Boaz was deeply touched. "May you be blessed by the Lord. You have shown more kindness now than before, in that you did not go after young men, whether rich or poor. And now, my daughter, do not fear. I will do all that you ask." But Boaz, being a man of integrity, revealed a complication: "There is a redeemer nearer than I. If he redeems you, good. But if he does not, as the Lord lives, I will." He let her rest until morning and then sent her away with 6 measures of barley, generous and symbolic of his commitment. When Ruth returned, Naomi awaited news eagerly. "How did it go, my daughter?" Ruth recounted everything. Naomi smiled and said, "Wait, my daughter, until you learn how the matter turns out, for the man will not rest until the matter is settled today." Redemption at the gate. Early the next morning, Boaz went to the town gate, the place where legal matters were handled. He waited for the nearer kinsman redeemer to pass by. When the man arrived, Boaz called 10 elders to witness the exchange. He explained that Naomi was selling the land that belonged to Elimelech. The man agreed to redeem it. But then Boaz added, "The day you buy the field, you also acquire Ruth the Moabite, the widow of the dead, to perpetuate the name of the deceased." The man hesitated. "I cannot redeem it for myself, lest I impair my own inheritance. Take my right of redemption yourself." He removed his sandal, a legal custom to seal the transaction. Boaz turned to the elders and declared, This is this day that I have bought from Naomi all that belonged to Elimelech and his sons. Also Ruth the Moabite, the widow of Mahlon, I have taken to be my wife." The people and elders blessed Boaz and Ruth. "May the Lord make the woman who is coming into your house like Rachel and Leah, who together built up the house of Israel. May your house be like the house of Perez, whom Tamar bore to Judah." A legacy of love. Boaz took Ruth, and she became his wife. The Lord blessed their union, and Ruth bore a son. The women of Bethlehem rejoiced with Naomi. Blessed be the Lord, who has not left you this day without a redeemer. May his name be renowned in Israel. He shall be to you a restorer of life and a nourisher of your old age. They named the child Obed. Naomi held him lovingly on her lap, no longer bitter, but full of joy. Would grow up to become the father of Jesse, who became the father of David, the greatest king of Israel. And through David's line came Jesus, the Messiah. Moral of the story: faithfulness and redemption. The story of Ruth and Boaz is more than a tale of love. It's a story of loyalty, selfless love, and divine providence. Ruth, a foreigner, became part of God's redemptive plan because of her unwavering loyalty, humility, and courage. Boaz, a man of honor, fulfilled his role as a redeemer with grace. God's providence shines through the ordinary, gleaning fields, quiet faith, loyal friendships. Ruth was not a queen or prophet, yet her legacy endures through the line of Christ. Loyalty and kindness never go unnoticed by God. God's plans often unfold through ordinary acts of faith. And is at the heart of God's character. He redeems not just situations, but people. No one is too far, too foreign, or too forgotten to be part of God's divine plan.
Thanks for watching Bible Takes. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you next time.